Hello, I am Certified Moth. Thank you for stopping into my video, and today I'm doing another school project. So the project for this is for my drawing class, and the project is inside me, outside of me. And one of the things that was sort of mentioned in the project was like the limits of the human body and like the injury and ailment. So I was thinking about making a piece about the way that my chronic pain affects my practice as an artist. So I want to make a painting where it is one long extended session. I take no extended breaks beyond what's like absolutely necessary just to like not want to die. But yeah, basically I want to work until I physically cannot handle it. Physically and mentally cannot handle it. So I'm going to be recording that whole process. That's going to be for my, I feel like half of the project in this one is sort of the documentation of it, so I really hope that turns out well. I'm probably going to be doing around hourly check-ins, just because in case something goes really wrong with my recording of this, I don't want to lose more than an hour's worth of work at a time since the documentation is pretty important. So yeah, I guess I'll get on with that. Literally so long, but I have the canvas installed. It got really wrinkly in the process, but yeah, canvas, clock, paper, so I hopefully don't paint all over my wall. I would have liked to secure the canvas better without using fucking painter's tape, but I'm not allowed to put holes in these walls, so I used a projector to get the very base sketch down. Obviously the face is kind of terrifying, but that's kind of what happens when you use the projector. Faces look so scary, but yeah, I've had a lot of things I've had to get over with tracing and realizing that, oh, tracing is just a tool. Cause when my work didn't have any meaning, a lot of the point of it was that, oh yeah, I can create stuff that looks good. But now that my work has meaning and I know I can create stuff that looks good, I don't have to prove that I have the skills to sketch every single thing out by hand perfectly. I know I could sketch this out, but it'd probably take me 3 hours to get the proportions right. Or I could pull out my projector and bang, have it done in I don't know, 15-20 minutes? Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, the topic of the project was inside me, outside of me. It was based, I believe, on an exhibition of the same name. It was thinking a lot about the relationships between the internal and the external, the ways those influence each other. So a lot of it was what goes into the body, what comes out of it. But I was a bit more interested in the limitations of the body in terms of illness and stuff like that. So obviously chronic pain fit pretty well in with the idea. My chronic pain is something I've wanted to touch on in my work for a long time, but it's also something that I felt was very difficult to do in a way that was not super cliche. How do you represent pain in a way that doesn't make you cringe, basically? That was a big concern of mine. So I actually tried when I was doing my portfolio to make some of my pieces inspired by that, but those ones all ended up getting scrapped because I thought they were all kind of bad. So I'm kind of happy to get a chance to go back and revisit the concept, even though I still think this probably isn't the strongest piece I've ever made, which is fine. Not every piece is going to be a winner. I'm still happy with this. I just think that maybe I could have found a better concept. I don't know. But yeah, sort of one of the things I wanted to touch on in this piece was the kind of toxic work culture that exists among artists, but especially art students, and I found especially painters. It's very glorified to have these pieces that you spent tens of hours working on when it's just a basic project. It's just really promoting those really unhealthy practices where it's no way you're getting the normal amount of sleep and exercise and eating what you should be when you're making these pieces. And yeah, I just wanted to touch on how those work cultures affect me, especially as someone with chronic pain. Obviously my limits are lower than everybody else's who does not have chronic pain. We're 2 hours in now. I started at 4:51, and it's now 7:15. I wasn't supposed to take breaks, but I took a little bit of a break because if I were to not just like sit down and not do anything for too long, I think I would just give up immediately. Oh, I'm standing in front of the painting. So yeah, this is what I have done so far in 2 hours. Kind of wish it wasn't going so fast. Well, not like the actual time. The time feels like it's going slow as fuck. But I wish the painting wasn't going so fast because I don't know if I'm going to stretch this out into a long enough process. But then I also feel like I don't even know my physical limits of how long I can do this for anyways, which is kind of tricky. Okay, kind of served kind of 8. It's kind of muddy, but I'm kind of going for an underpainting look. I'm hopefully not going into much overpainting in this process. Maybe, depending on how long I can do it for. Like I said, I don't know what's happening. I'm so scared. I'm in pain already. Yeah. Another thing I was really interested in the concept of this piece was like, it's really hard to explain chronic pain, especially as so like, because my chronic pain is my baseline, so even trying to explain it in words is really hard. So to be able to explain it both in a way that's kind of visual, like I have this melding of the internal and external and like all these joints and bones and muscles, which is like the source of my pain, it being very visible. But then of course I think visual imagery only takes you so far when you're trying to explain something like this. So then to simultaneously have the video as well as the image, I feel like they sort of complement each other in a really nice way. Actually, we were talking about it in the critique and we basically all agreed that I think that the video relies on the image to be worthwhile, but the image is okay on its own and just is like taken to the next level by the video, which like, yeah, I'm happy that that was kind of the consensus around the piece. But yeah, anyways, that's why I thought the documentation of this piece was so important, because like, yeah, the visual documentation really adds to the overall concept of the piece, because like, I mean, the visual imagery in it is already okay in trying to say what I'm trying to say, but then to make it clear that this was actually just done in one sitting, I thought was really important to the concept. Like, I think just word of mouth would not have been enough, and like just writing it in an artist statement would not have been enough. So yeah, overall concept-wise, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about, but like, is it the strongest concept I've ever had? No, but that's okay. Not everything is going to be that. And it's not even a final project, so I don't care. Well, actually I do care. I'm kind of coping intensely right now. I don't know. Every time I finish a big project like this, the wave of depression hits and I hate everything about it for quite a while. I don't know, maybe in a year I'll look back on this and be like, yeah, I was cooking. Cooked and ate? Anyways, I hope I didn't forget to talk about anything. I guess I will move on to talking about the like actual process of creating this. Elephant in the room. This is a nude self-portrait. I've never done anything like this before, especially not as something to hand in for an actual like class project. I had to stand up in front of this piece in front of 22 people for 10 minutes straight while people just stood there and watched it. Oh. It is currently 10:40 p.m. so I've been at this for six-ish hours. I'm feeling pretty fine still. I mean, my back really hurts and my legs hurt, but that's like nothing new for me. It's not anywhere near the point where I'm like, I need to stop. Yeah, I mean, a 6-hour studio session is pretty much nothing to me. Like, that's a full class session plus an extra hour and a half of staying late. Like, that's normal for me. Normally I would like leave the dorm, go on a walk if I was working this long. It's really important for my process and my chronic pain for me to get moving. It's really rough on my joints just staying in one spot and just like shifting from side to side. It's just a lot tougher. on all my joints. Kind of serving, kind of eating. I don't know. Something I don't like about the rib cage. Honestly, there's a part of me that wishes I had just done the portrait, but that's like, I think then in the critique, my instructor would be like, well, why do we include the piece if it doesn't relate to the concept, which is fair. I just don't want to do it. I don't think it looks good. I do like the rest of it. Like, I really like some of the stuff that's happening in the skin. This part got really muddy because I messed it up right away. But I think I'm gonna go back and fix that later. I was thinking of once I have all the bones and skin, then maybe I'm gonna go back and add some like muscle texture, because my chronic pain is in relation to like my joints, ligaments, and muscles and bones. So including all that stuff in this portrait. Yeah. I am getting kind of tired. It doesn't help that it's staying dark for so long here right now. Like, it's been dark since 5 p.m. so it gets kind of depressing really fast. So yeah, anyways, before that asshole interrupted me, I was talking about how this is a nude portrait, and yeah, kind of awkward. I think that it kind of needed to be a nude portrait, because obviously anytime you include clothes in artwork, it has a lot of connotations, and like, also it really dates the piece in a time where trends are so fast moving, just in a way that I don't really love. Yeah. But especially just because it's kind of anatomical, yeah? So I think it makes sense for it to not have clothes. But also, I don't think that makes it any less awkward. But also, there was the added thing of like, I do personally believe that if I don't learn how to be comfortable presenting my form in the nude, this year I literally never will. I'm on hour, I think, 7? Yeah, I think 7. It's 12:15. I feel fine. No, that's kind of a lie. I'm starting to feel it in my back a lot, but honestly, I thought I'd be feeling worse by now, which is kind of awesome, I guess. I feel really fine when I'm like invested in the actual painting. It's just when it's like, when I'm at a part of the painting where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm like trying to think about it, that suddenly it's like, oh, I can feel it. I'm really feeling it in my elbows too, because I'm having to reach up so much. This is definitely something that I've like encountered before, but I usually work in canvases that are just a bit smaller than this. I try to work sort of large scale, but like not this large of scale. Like, this is fairly close to life-size portrait, sort of, I think. I don't know, I'm a bad judge of scale, but usually I have the ability to sit down, whereas with this, when I sit on my chair, it's just like not a great range. It gives me like this area, which is not something that needs a ton of work. So like, I have to get all the way down to the floor for the legs and the feet, and I have to stand all the way up for the torso up. This has been kind of a weird process, besides the obvious that like, I usually don't work for 7 hours with no more than like a 10-20 minute break. But also the subject matter, like, I don't know what voiceover me is talking about at this point in the video, but I have never done any sort of nude self-portrait before, so this is kind of freaky. Sorry, that was strange. Yeah, it's hard. Mixed feelings about the process. Like, it's really easy to just completely remove myself from the fact that it's me, or that like it's even a nude body. It's so easy to focus just on like a skin detail and not focus on that. But then sometimes I'll be like, oh, that's my body that I took a picture of. I'm mostly worried about the actual presentation of the piece, because like, freaky. I don't really want to get up in front of a class of like 22 people and hang up a picture of me naked. But that's why I want to do it, because I know I'm uncomfortable with it. And I have sort of decided for myself that, like, if I don't get comfortable with doing nude self-portrait work this year, it's never happening. Like, I feel like once I'm 20, I can't do that anymore. I can't pick up that skill. I feel like I need to do it while I'm young and stupid and before I get too set in my ways. Do I think the representation of myself is the best? No, I can definitely see there's some bits I'm like, I don't know, the proportions feel off, especially in the boobs. They feel weird for me. I'll keep working on it, I guess. Yeah. I've really been pushing the shadows in this piece, which I'm very glad of, because then it means I get to put this whole bit in shadow, and I'm not complaining about that at all. Yeah, maybe I forgot that I had that whole segment recorded on the fact that it was a nude portrait, but I'm leaving both in. I think it's kind of funny to watch me talk about it from like a actual neutral standpoint after it's been done versus when I was kind of losing my mind in the process. Yeah. I genuinely thought I was doing really well mentally at this part in the process, but kind of based on what I'm hearing in those segments I recorded, I think I was a little bit delirious. I didn't realize that. So in terms of the rest of the process, acrylic paint, that's been like my main medium most of my life. I was using unprimed, unstretched canvas, which I fucking have done before. I know I hate working on it because it absorbs paint like no tomorrow. I forgot I need to use cheap, shitty paints if I'm working on unprimed canvas. But I got to the point of hanging it up when I realized, oh shit, this does not have any gesso. And I didn't own any gesso at the time, so I was like, well, I guess I'm working on this. So it's a little bit different from my normal painting process. I used a shit fucking ton of water. That spray bottle that you keep seeing me hold, it was being used so much, it's kind of insane. So this is a lot more watery. It is exactly 1:51 a.m. That means I've been at this for exactly 9 hours. Hold on, I literally zoomed the camera out so you can see the full thing and then stood directly in the way of it. Yeah, I'm having fun again, kind of. I'm in pain, but it's manageable, and I made myself coffee. I don't want to ramble too much because I feel like there's also the whole voiceover part of this video. But, yeah. I'm honestly still feeling shockingly fine. Just kind of crazy. I've made a fair amount of progress. The feet are kind of fucked up. So is this hand. But I think I mostly fixed the torso anatomy. And yeah, I think after I finish the face and the hair, hand, and feet, I'm probably going to move on to some muscular texturing. That's exciting, I suppose. I don't know what's happening with the background here. I was thinking I've been kind of into drawing like myelinated nerves lately. They're kind of fun and funky and fresh pattern. So if I could do something really faint like that in the background, maybe? Nothing that's like super obviously like, oh my goodness, that is a myelinated, what am I saying? Oh my goodness, that's like a nerve with a myelin sheath. I don't want anyone to look at it and think that. I just want to have something that stops it from being just a basic gradient, because that's one of my worst habits, is just making things like random gradients and like, no thanks. That's kind of boring, if you ask me. Okay, kind of served kind of ate. I work on my acrylic paintings in kind of a batshit crazy way. I hate remixing the same color over and over again, but I also hate mixing a lot of a color like at the very beginning of a process. I suck at color mixing, or color matching I mean, and I hate making too much paint. So I end up just going with whatever feels right. So I just completely continued to remix my lights and my darks. So a lot of them are probably a lot more yellow or a lot more neutral, not quite the same as each other throughout the painting, especially because I worked from top to bottom. But that's just kind of part of my process that I've learned to deal with, that, you know, the lights aren't always going to be accurate, so I just let them be strange sometimes. Same with like the shadows. Some of them are really purpley, some of them are super greeny, I think some are like blue. It's almost it's 3:30 now, so 20 minutes till my 11th hour. Oh. I feel so awesome. No, I don't. I feel like shit. I sort of fixed the feet. The toenails helped. This hand is still fucked, but I think I'm giving up forever on it. I hate painting hands so much. Like, drawing them is bad. Painting them? I did a little bit of work on the face. The eyes look kind of fucked up. I don't think it looks like me. I can only get my likeness right if it's just a picture of my face. If you add any body in, the face goes out the window. That's fine, that's awesome. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna do this for. I'm starting to feel it, but I need to get it at least to some point of finished, like I promised in my project proposal, because my project proposal did have the muscle texture. I've been taking longer and longer breaks. Like, I just keep repeatedly taking like 10-20 minute breaks for funsies. What can I say? I'm just kind of over it. I'm honestly fine. I'm being dramatic. I'm pretty sure I was lying at this part of the video. I was not fine. 11 hours straight of work without stopping to like take a walk is crazy. I don't know why I was trying to justify to myself that it wasn't. Anyways. Yeah, this process was kind of painful. No shit. By that I mean that sometimes there'd be parts where I would be super motivated and I would be like doing all this work and I wouldn't even feel it, and then other times I'd sit in my chair for like 5 minutes straight just staring at it like, oh, I can't keep going. Sandwich time. Oh, that was exciting. I just had a sandwich. That was cool. But yeah, like it kind of depended on how interested I was in the part of the painting with how much I was struggling during it. Like when I had to work on the legs, I was struggling because I didn't want to do them. I actually really worked on this piece in opposite order. I left the face for last, which is strange because I almost always start with the faces because they're my favorite part. So kind of mysterious, I gave myself something to look forwards to, although by the end I think I was too tired to actually enjoy it. It's been exactly 12 hours to the minute. That's awesome. Sorry. I'm treating myself by having a shower. That's really exciting for me. Yeah, I did a fair amount of work on the face. I feel like I'm gonna go back later and probably fix some of it. I already know I need to fix some of like the eyelid and stuff. But yeah, when I get out of the shower, I'm gonna finish the hair, then the background, and then do some stuff in the, oh my goodness, I still have to do the texture of the skin. I still have to do the muscle texture. I'm feeling so awesome. Aw, look at me and my freshly washed hair. That shower probably saved me. Even though I only worked for like another hour and a half, 2 hours, I don't know, afterwards, it still saved me. I really wish I'd been writing down notes during this critique, because I always feel like my critiques with this instructor are literally the most productive things that ever happened to me, but I was too stressed to actually like listen to and engage with conversation that I didn't want to actually stop and take down notes, which is kind of sad. But But yeah, I thought the critique went pretty well. I had it set up where the video was playing slightly slowed down on a TV next to the painting, which I just think, I don't know, that's something I think about a lot is the use of TVs versus projectors in critiques. Like, with projectors, you have to turn off the lights and people have to sit down and watch the video, whereas with a TV, it can kind of be playing in the background while people are wandering around and reading artist statements and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of awesome. So, we're coming up on 14 hours now. Honestly, it does not feel like it's been that long. But I mean, I did make a shit ton of progress, so, that's crazy how that happens. I'm on to the musculature. I don't really know where to add it, because I kind of want to have some of the bones showing on this leg, so maybe I'll have like this leg bones, that leg muscle, the bones there, muscle there. I don't know, does that feel too predictable? Oh my goodness, it's opposites. Who could have guessed they would have made it opposites of each other? I don't know. I'm not adding anything to the face because I don't experience anything related to my chronic pain in my face. I could have added something to the neck, but because it's the front of the neck, I don't experience anything here. It's all on the back of my neck. Same with like a lot of my chronic pain is in my spine, but obviously my belly is there. I did show a little bit of the spine just as like a callback. What am I talking about? But yeah, it's kind of too bad I didn't choose a pose where you could see my back, or like do a portrait of me from the front and from the back or something. Whatever, I don't care. Yeah, the feet still feel really plain. Maybe I should add some bones to one of them, but I just don't really want to. Feet are kind of nasty and they look hard to paint. Same with like the hand. I should add bones to that thing, but no. I'm so tired. And I want to drive home today, but I might be too sleepy too. So yeah, final stretch of the time lapse. Yeah, I thought my piece went over pretty well in the critique. I think I definitely have had pieces that went better in critiques, but it wasn't like this one went bad. I just don't think it was my strongest piece I've ever made. I do actually, it kind of surprised me that my piece was kind of the one with the most nudity in it. Like, one of my friends did a cast of her chest, which was like more on the side of nudity, and there were definitely pieces that explored it to some degree, but mine was the only one where I was like, yeah, this is my naked ass body that I'm hanging up in front of you. And I was like, oh, I kind of thought more people would be doing this, because the project was kind of a little bit, not raunchy, but like it had a lot of room for NSFW work. So I was kind of surprised. We did it! It is 7:29 a.m. Just finished it. It took me 14 hours, 36 minutes, and 48 seconds. Less time than I thought it would be. I kind of wish it took a little bit. Oh my goodness, my alarm is going off for the morning. Whoa. Yeah, like I low-key wish it took me a little bit longer, but I also know it took me this amount of time because I'm feeling kind of good right now, but I know that means I'm at my limit. Like, I was feeling like shit for a really, really long time, but now I feel good, which is not a good sign for me. So yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of really happy with how this turned out. It feels a lot like an underpainting in a lot of areas, which I think is good, because if it looked too finished, I think it would feel like I just went until I was done rather than until I had to stop. And don't get me wrong, I pushed myself to a point where I felt like it was finished, but I didn't want it to be polished, if that makes sense. like I worked for as long as I could stand while also getting a result that I was at least kind of happy with. This canvas is soaking wet. I had to refill this spray bottle probably like 8 or 9 times, maybe more. Yeah. Oh, my hair is not dry yet. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Maybe it's just, no, it's not completely greasy. It's just kind of wet still. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty pleased. I guess I'll give a close-up. Yeah, here it is. I'm gonna have to cut off that part of the canvas and save it for a different project. In terms of the likeness, I think I have done better, but I think I can look at it and be like, yeah, that's me. Obviously it's gonna be kind of different because this is the front-facing camera. This was done from pretty far away with the back camera, so there's some of that distortion happening, but like, no, when I do it like this, I don't see it. I swear, I kind of see it. I don't know. I'm happy with it anyways, even if it doesn't really look that much like me. I don't know. Yay. Here's my setup. I wish I'd had the TV a bit further away from the canvas, and also maybe I should have grabbed a plinth. I don't know. I fucking hate plinths, man. I hate them so much. I just use a fucking TV stand. Also, I had to make a mini zine for this. Oh my goodness, so cutie patootie. Love it, love it, love the pictures, love it so much. I wish I had it back. Thank you so much for watching if you made it till the end of this. Please feel free to like or comment or subscribe. That'd make me very pleased, very happy. I love answering comments so much. Yeah. I'm gonna leave this to dry overnight. It's soaked. Bye! Overnight, I mean this is the sunrise, so I guess I'll leave it to dry while I take a nap.